Previously on the O.M.E.N podcast.
We're gonna go visit Daddy.
Hey there, Scout. How you doing?
Hey, Daddy, I'm doing good. How are they treating you here?
Terribly.
What's been going on with these goats? I saw y'all on the road earlier. They get out?
Something's been attacking them. This creature is quite big, quite tall.
How about we go down to the shooting range and see which one of us is still better? If I win, you're gonna put on your Sunday best when we go to church tomorrow.
And if you win as well, I will show you the weird secret thing that I found whilst I've been working here, okay?
Now it's my turn for my reward. Show me that weird thing.
Let's go back to the cabins and I'll show you the thing.
What will happen next? Find out on this exciting episode of O.M.E.N.
So as the car pulls into the old folks' home, it's starting to get a bit late, and you get there, you get out of the car, you both go back into the lodge, and you go around the back of the lodge, past the bingo hall. Apparently bingo night's on, but because you're here, he gets to skip out of it, and he's very happy about that. All the other old folks are inside the bingo lounge at the minute. He takes you around the back, and you are surrounded by all of the lodges, like the little sort of log homes for other older people. And he takes you to one of them, really, really far away from the main lodge. He goes around the side and you can see there's a cellar, and he pulls out a key and he unlocks the cellar of this tiny hut. Do you want to say anything whilst he's unlocking it? He's like sort of fumbling with the key.
Daddy, what in the blazes you been doing while you've been here?
I got this key from one of the older lodges. I won it in a game of poker. So I get to use his basement. He unlocks it and then flings open the doors. And you head down into this cellar. And he goes, come with me. I've got to show you this thing.
All right.
And you go down into the cellar. And you essentially are quite shocked to see what appears to be a war room.
Daddy, I'm going to ask again. What in the blazes have you been doing while you've been here?
This is my war room.
I can see that pretty clearly.
This is where I'm planning my escape and trying to deal with the secrets that are happening in this area.
Daddy, what's been going on?
He walks over to this sort of radio setup he's got, and he goes, "It's those goddamn communists again." And he looks at you, and he's like, looks really sincere. That they're doing things. I can see them. I can hear them on the radio. In the center of the room, there is this big map of the local area, and there are flags pinned all over it. He sort of points at them and goes, "I've been listening on the radio for transmissions from them, and I keep hearing them, but they keep moving everywhere. I don't know what's going on, but it's definitely the communists."
And Daddy, are each of these flags where their signals coming from?
It's the same goddamn signal, but it keeps moving.
I would like to examine the board to see if there's a pattern.
Okay. Could you roll for observation, please?
I got a 15.
You notice that there is like areas of this map where the signals seem to sort of cluster. That they cluster around like an area in the forest, and there's a couple of them that sort of like lead outwards from there. It's like an octopus spreading tentacles out. So like there's a big cluster in the center, and then the transmission sort of goes off in different directions and then comes back to the center. You see, they're definitely the same transmission. Do you want to hear it?
Yes, please, sir.
And he goes over to the nearby radio, and he flicks a couple of buttons and then presses a play on the tape, and you hear this. You hear that? Can you hear that? It's the goddamn communists.
What do you think it means?
I think it's like secret plans, you know. First they're gonna come, they're gonna drop a bomb on us,
and then they're gonna steal all the riches, and then everything's gonna go crazy. It was their plan all along. It's Putin's plan.
And he looks back and he's just sort of like muttering to himself and looking at the wall. And on the wall there's a big American flag. And towards the side, he's got a bunch of really threatening-looking firearms. Like he's ready for whatever is going to happen. He's like been planning this for a while.
Daddy, do you think this got anything to do with them goats the police been finding?
Why would it have anything to do with the goats? That doesn't make any sense. Why would a communist want to kill a goat or a bear? Like, communists love bears. That's like one of their things, isn't it? Like Russians and bears?
Well, yes, it is. I know Putin loves him some bears, but
Yeah?
this don't sit right, and I'm suspecting that both of these are connected.
I don't know about that one. That doesn't make any sense. I personally think that whatever's going on here is related to the communists. I've seen weird-looking vans, like, driving around. I've seen definitely a couple of black vans, and I'm definitely sure there's something to do with it. You know what? Never mind for now. Let's go upstairs and get some sleep, because we got church in the morning, and I don't really want to have like a night where we're getting stressed out. You know, I want to enjoy this time with you. You know,
Daddy, that don't sound like you. You ain't gonna sneak out in the woods in the middle of the night, are you?
no. Why would I do that? That doesn't make any sense.
It don't make no sense, but it sounds just like you.
I would sincerely question the legitimacy of those claims.
And he heads outside and he calls you to come up so he can lock the door.
I'm gonna take one last look at this room, see if I see anything else.
Okay.
Oh, I got a 3, so...
Yeah, you see nothing else. And you head outside and you walk across the newly trodden snow back to the lodge, and you head up into the room. You decide that your dad's going to take the sofa and you're going to sleep in the bed.
Actually, if I'm suspecting that he's gonna break out in the middle of the night,
Mhm.
I would not take the bed, because the couch will be between the bed and the door.
Okay.
So I'm gonna take the couch. Daddy needs his rest, so he's gonna get the bed.
Good choice. Interesting. Yeah, that makes sense. He reluctantly goes into the bedroom and he flops on the bed and goes to sleep. Like, you can hear him snoring. And you go back into the sort of living room of this tiny little one-bedroom apartment. What do you do?
I'm gonna take a look around, see if he's been doing anything else weird in his apartment.
Roll for observation, please.
Got an 11.
So you look around the apartment. There's just your sort of standard old person memorabilia. So he's got his pills in his drawer. There's a bunch of slightly mouldy fruit in one of the fruit bowls. He's got standard fare in the fridge, nothing too extravagant. He's got a couple of bottles of beer, and in one of the drawers is one of his revolvers, just sort of like in one of the drawers. And you turn to the sink, and there's a window near the sink. And you walk over to the sink. Could you roll for observation again, please?
I got a 20.
Okay, so you look out into the darkness, and you're looking out over the swimming pool, and you see something. You see something that doesn't quite look right. You can see between the trees what looks like just a big sort of metal pole, and at the top of the pole there are 2 speakers. And the 2 speakers are just sort of either side of it, juxtaposed on either side of the big pole. And it's sort of just standing upright in the forest. But you don't remember it being there earlier.
I'm gonna go wake up Daddy.
So you run into the other room and you poke him, and he goes,
What do you want? I was trying to get to sleep, goddammit.
Daddy, there's something outside. I think you ought to look at it.
What? Really? Okay.
Daddy, come on.
So do you want to go back to the kitchen window, or do you want to check in the window out here?
I'm gonna check out in the window out here.
Okay, so it's a slightly bigger window this time. So you both gather around the window.
What is it? I don't see anything.
Daddy, put your glasses on. Can you see that out by the trees?
He reaches over and grabs his glasses and sticks them onto his face. And you're just both looking at this metal pole with speakers on it, and it's just there, and it wasn't there earlier. And you're looking at it for a couple of minutes, and then it twitches, and you look directly at it, and one of the speakers turns, like, immediately, very quickly, towards you.
Daddy, that's not been there this whole time, has it?
Uh,
You've ever seen that before?
no, I've never seen that thing before. I don't know what it is.
You can see it quite clearly in the forest now.
Oh, damn.
Can you describe what you're seeing?
It's like a corpse made out of driftwood. Just all tall and scraggly. With, I guess I'd call them speakers up on top.
And this thing in the forest is looking directly at your window. And you hear it make a very uncomfortably low tone. And the windows are vibrating because of this tone. What do you want to do?
I'm gonna get away from the windows.
Okay, could you please roll for agility?
Hold Daddy down too. 11.
Cool. Okay, so you roll out of the way, and immediately the glass shatters. Glass goes everywhere, and the cold wind blasts into the room. This strange creature, you can hear it moving. Like, you can hear these like metal roots twisting and aching in the wind, and it's moving towards the building. Your dad's sort of standing there bewildered, like he's a bit stressed out. He's a bit confused.
Daddy, I need the key to your cellar right now.
What? Okay. It's in the kitchen. Go get it.
And he like pulls out his revolver.
What do you want me to do?
Daddy, you stay here. I just need you up here for recon.
Okay. All right. Fine.
Okay. I rush to the kitchen and I grab that key and I start booking it down outside into the cabin we were just at.
Okay, so you go to the cabin, and out the corner of your eye, you can see this giant, tall monster with its great big sirens on its head, like leaning and aching towards where your dad is. So you better go quick. Could you roll for agility, please?
That's only an 8.
Okay, so you find it really difficult to like walk through the snow. You're tripping up on yourself, but eventually you make it to that room, and you unlock the door, and you get down into the cellar. What do you want to do down here?
You said he had the stockpile of bigger weapons.
He does. He's got a wall with a couple of like big machine guns on it.
Do they look like they're in functioning order?
Yep.
I'm going to take a precise long-range weapon.
Okay, so you pull like a great big like semi-automatic sniper.
Yeah.
And I guess you strap it onto your back like some sort of badass.
Alright, I'm gonna book it out of the cellar and like start trying to draw that thing back to the woods.
So when you get outside, because it took you so long, you heard a couple of gunshots, and you pull yourself out of the cellar, and you see the siren creature walking back off into the woods, and you can hear your dad yelling. You hear the thing make the weirdest noises. It starts making all these weird siren noises. It walks off into the forest with your dad.
Is this thing making footprints in the snow?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm gonna track it by the footprints into the trees.
So you run towards where it was. How are you gonna deal with the swimming pool? Are you gonna sort of like walk over it, or are you gonna walk around it? What's your plan with the swimming pool? Because it's very icy around here.
It's ice over, right?
Yes.
It's Tennessee, so it's probably not super strong.
No, but every second that you hesitate, the further it's going to get away.
I'm gonna try to get a shot off from where I am to get its attention.
Okay. Could you roll for agility, please?
Give me a sec. I want to see what exactly the wording on my stats are.
Okay. Damn it! I hate when this happens.
+5 to shooting involving normal guns.
Yes.
This is a normal gun.
Yeah.
Everybody has a sniper rifle. Are you kidding me? Yeah.
I'd say it's a normal gun. Yeah.
Alright. So I'm gonna fire at it.
You're going to fire at it from over here. Okay. So could you please roll for agility?
I got a 13.
You got a 13. Okay. So you don't manage to hit it. The bullet goes straight past it because it's quite a thin, wiry creature, and it drags your father off into the darkness of the forest. So you probably want to chase after it, I guess.
Did I happen to see if this place has any four-wheelers?
Four-wheelers. I don't think a four-wheeler would fit through the forest. There's lots and lots of trees.
Excuse me? You're telling a redneck that I can't fit a four-wheeler through the forest?
I don't know. Can you? Do you want to give it a try?
I was asking if there are four-wheelers.
I'm going to say yeah. There's probably like one four-wheeler that the wardens use.
All right, I'm gonna grab one of the four-wheelers and I'm gonna start tracking it through the forest. Try to catch up with it.
Oh, it's one of those tiny little bikes, isn't it?
A four-wheeler?
Little motocross thing.
What?
Is that what a four-wheeler is? Like a tiny sort of bicycle crete thing, but it's got four wheels? Like a moped thing?
No. Oh,
I don't know.
am I gonna have to show you what a four-wheeler looks like?
You are. Four-wheeler. Yeah, it's one of those little motocross bike things. Okay. It's like a little bike thing.
It's got four wheels, so it's automatically not a bike.
It's a four-wheel bike.
Okay, we'll go with that for the sake of story.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so I guess like you go straight towards one of the warden's places and you break in probably to get access to the four-wheeler, right?
They don't expect the old folks to be stealing them. I'm sure they left the keys in the ignition.
Could you roll for luck?
Yes. I should put that point in luck. I got 11 luck.
I'm going to say you don't find a key, but you do see the key. So this four-wheeler is positioned in just a way that you can see through a window nearby the keys on a wall. There's like the sort of guard's house, and it's empty right now, but on the wall is the keys behind a window.
Alright, I'm gonna break in through the window.
So you smash the window, I guess?
Yeah.
Okay, you
Smash that window.
Smash the window, and I guess you're going to reach in and grab the keys.
Mm-hmm.
So you reach in and grab the keys, and you put them into the four-wheeler, and the four-wheeler starts up, and immediately the sound of this causes one of the guys to start rushing towards you, and he's like, hey, what the hell are you doing? Do you want to ignore him, or do you want to like talk to him?
I'll apologize later, and then I'll just take off into the woods.
Okay, so you leave him behind in the dust, and you take off into the woods following this trail. You can't hear anything at this point other than the sound of your four-wheeler as you drive like headfirst through the snow into this forest. Can you please roll for focus?
18 focus.
Nice. Okay, so you're really good at piloting this thing. You don't hit any trees, and you come across like a clearing, and when you get to the clearing, you can see two sets of tracks, and the snow has made it difficult to figure out which set of tracks is the creatures and which is just a normal animal. So you can either go left or right. Which one do you want to go with?
Do I recognize any of these surroundings from the map that he had in the cellar?
I'm going to say with your focus roll, yes. You know roughly which way you're facing right now.
So I would like to pick whichever route is going to take me to like where all of those spots were like in the big cluster.
The Octopussy cluster. Okay. You take the right route, and you go down it and follow the trail. The footsteps clear up, and you start to notice that they are definitely the footsteps of this creature. And you then find yourself coming across an area where the snow has resettled and the footsteps are gone, and you can't hear anything. You can't hear any screaming or anything. Do you want to stop, or do you want to try and continue on?
I'm going to stop.
Okay.
And Daddy and I would have had some type of code that we could have used while hunting.
Okay.
So I'm going to make bird sounds. And I need you to edit those in.
Okay, I can try and do that. So you make some bird sounds. Could you please roll for observation?
Got a 21.
Okay. You are in the middle of this clearing. It's very quiet, like the engine of your motorbike has turned off. You hear the strange, like, wrought iron twisting sound from behind you. What are you going to do?
I'm gonna duck behind the four-wheeler and spin around and look at it.
Okay. So, as you duck, you feel the wind above your head quite strongly as this creature takes a swing for you. And you manage to duck it. And when you get behind the four-wheeler, it grabs the four-wheeler and then flings it against a tree. And you hear this thing let out this horrible screaming sound.
What would Annabelle do? Hello.
You can't talk to everything.
I mean, I look. I can at least try. All right, you try and then you start firing, or you start firing and you just never try. So I'm gonna try.
Okay. So you say hello, and it stops for a second, and it repeats back hello to you, but in a slightly sort of distorted way.
Hello, thing.
And it immediately tries to reach for you. What do you want to do?
Well, I'm gonna do the good nature thing, and I'm gonna try to shake its hand.
Okay. Sure. So it reaches forward for you. Could you please roll agility?
I got a 16.
Probably not good enough in this case, unfortunately. The creature grabs you. Its fingers are really sort of gnarly and horrible and metal, like very metallic skin, and it sort of holds you tightly. It's going to cause you 2 damage from like the rusty skin that's grabbing you now, like digging into you.
I don't like that.
You've noticed that your dad isn't here either, which is problematic, and it brings you up towards like its head. One of its sirens turns to look at you, and inside the siren you can see a really disgusting, dried, mummified mouth. It's got like a lot of little sort of nasty looking human-like teeth, and the speakers themselves are like coated in this sort of veiny, like mummified skin as well, growling and like shouting angry numbers at you right now.
Excuse me, I can hear you just fine. There ain't no need to shout.
The creature turns directly and then sort of like pulls you along with it and takes you further into the forest. You have no idea where it's taking you right now, and you sit there in its hand worrying about your dad, and we're going to find out what happens to you in the next episode of the podcast. We'll see you next time. The O.M.E.N podcast is powered by Ellipsis RPG, the accessible donationware rule set, now available on itch.io. If you like what you're hearing, please rate us on iTunes or wherever you get your podcast. You can tweet to us at the hashtag OMENcast, that's O-M-E-N cast, and who knows, you might get a special mention in one of the episodes from us. Thank you for listening, and remember, stay vigilant. You never know what's out there.